Hi guys, today I'm going to kick off a new series, hopefully if you enjoy it, kind of the idea of it, then I will do a series of these, otherwise it will be a one-off. I first saw Kristen Game do this kind of idea, and I since realised, or I think, that it was Ms. Gold Girl who actually kind of invented it or created it. It's really difficult to say that because there's so many people making YouTube videos, you know, 400 or 500 people might have had the same idea, I don't know, but these are the two people that I've seen do it, and I will link them both below. They both do it on a pretty regular basis, and hopefully if you enjoy it I will too, because I think it's such a cool idea. Anyway, without further ado, the general concept of this is that I go back in time, video-wise, see what I was enjoying a couple of years ago and let you know this same month, 2 years later, or however many years later I decide to do it, whether I'm still liking those same things that I put in my favourites video. So for the purpose of this one, I'm looking at August 2012. Because I think I was kind of hit and miss in the beginning with my favourites videos, and I don't seem to have an August 2011, but if you did follow me way back then, I did actually delete about 100 videos by accident. So it could be that that was just one of the videos that I deleted, and it's still a sore point, to be quite honest, so let's not talk about that. But I've kind of looked back at what I was enjoying there. I actually had to watch two videos. One, I didn't list any of the products in my videos then, and two, it was split over two videos, one with me and one with Laura. Well, they were both with Laura, but one was on my channel and one was on her channel because it was like a collaboration. So it was possibly the worst month to choose because it took me ages to get this list of products, but I've got the list of products that I actually told you I loved in 2011. No, 2012. Goodness, this is going to get confusing. And now I'm going to tell you whether I'm still enjoying them, and if I'm not, what I've replaced them with. So, really long intro and ramble, but hopefully if you enjoy it I'll be able to just pick it up next time and you'll just totally understand the concept and we can just kind of go right into it. So first of all, I have the Roche-Posay Hydraphase mask. I actually do have this still somewhere and I don't know where it is, and I wanted to show you it, but then I kind of realised that it's 2 years old because it's the same exact tube. This is another thing, it makes you realise how old your makeup is, because if I've still got it, then it is still 2 years old, 2 years plus. Because it's probably something I'd had for a while before I mentioned it in the favourites video, so I'm like, maybe if I do find that needs to be thrown away. Basically it's a moisture mask. It's really, really nice for if you've got kind of sunburn, or if you've got like wind burn, you know, depending on the season, either if you're very hot, very, very cold, and your skin's kind of suffered and dried out, or a little bit, you know, it's suffering from the elements outside. It's a really, really nice mask to use. Also really nice if you've overdone it with the blemish treatments and that's dried out your skin a little bit. Something that you are supposed to put on and then wipe off after 10 minutes, and I would just use as an overnight treatment. So it's quite light, really hydrating, and even for oily skin I'd recommend it. I do still like it. I would still say yes, I would recommend that to you guys, but I don't have it physically here to show you and I don't really use it all that often, so I probably wouldn't put it in a favourites video. The next is the Alpha H Liquid Gold, and you may remember me raving about this 2 years ago, and I still think maybe I would buy it again. Basically it's like something to do with enzymes. It's like a liquid exfoliator, so rather than using a manual exfoliator, it kind of takes away the dead skin cells, but it also promotes cell renewal. So it's supposed to make you look younger and give you this glowy skin, and it's supposed to get rid of dark marks. So I have quite a lot of pigmentation around my eyes and things. It's supposed to help get rid of all that stuff. I think it did help my skin tone and condition, but I also think that it actually brought out the oil in my face. So it actually made the oil production that I'm always struggling with worse. And so for that reason I probably wouldn't repurchase it again, but I do think that, you know, age-wise, and there are various things that make me want to use it, but because I hate the whole oily skin thing, I don't want to use it. I'd probably use it again in the winter time, but I don't have it right now, and right this very second I wouldn't recommend it because it's very, very expensive, and unless you are really into anti-aging and getting your skin as perfect as possible, which not everyone's into that depending on your age, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. There are other things that I like, but I haven't specifically replaced that one item. Forest People Eye and Lip Oil. This was a really strange, it's like an oil that I got in a random beauty box. Really, really strange. It was like a French beauty box. I haven't replaced it. It was an oil for your eyes and your lips. So instead of using like a lip balm and an eye cream, it was this oil. I use completely different things now, a separate thing for each, an eye cream and a lip balm. So I haven't replaced it and I don't use that anymore. Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream. I only really ever use that for my lips. So I have, and I haven't opened it yet, so I'll open it for you now. I have actually got now, if if I can open it, a fit for purpose lip balm. I haven't actually used this at all yet, but it's basically the 8 Hour Cream in lip balm form. So I really do like that. I wouldn't necessarily purchase the 8 Hour Cream in the tube again because I didn't really use it for anything other than lip balm, so this is a bit more fit for purpose, but it was a good product to have. Colour Restore Iced Platinum. This was basically something to take the brassiness out of my hair, and it was something from the same maker of Colour Before, if you're familiar. It was something made by Scott Cornwall, and I love that whole range. I think it's really effective. Doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for me, and this was a very, very effective blue shampoo. And I loved it because at the time I was really struggling with my yellow toned brassy hair. I'd really effed it up, let's face it. I'd really, really messed up my hair, and it really, really was the only thing that worked, and I tried so many different things. I still would recommend that if you are feeling like your hair is it has to be bleached and yellow. It can't be just yellow and coloured because it just will not tone. If you have yellow and it's been coloured to that colour, it won't tone. It will only tone bleach. I don't know why, but that's how it works. I would still recommend that because it's very effective, but my favourite at the moment is the Lee Stafford Bleach Blondes, and I've actually just had my hair recoloured. You may be able to tell my roots aren't quite as horrendous as they were. My hairdresser actually commented on the tone of my hair. She said it looked really clean, and it was just a really nice tone, so she's ended up putting a more lavender pink tone on my hair this time after doing my highlights rather than a blue tone, because this is more lavender pink than blue purple, and I would definitely recommend this. It just gives that kind of like a minky tone to your hair instead of that icy white tone. Although if you want the icy white tone, then the Colour Restore is really good, but that's my favourite at the moment, so that's what that's been replaced with, I suppose. John Frieda Full Repair Styling Spray hasn't really been replaced, but I don't use it anymore. It was basically like a primer. It was kind of like a hairspray for before you did your hair, and I'm just not really into doing my hair much anymore. I kind of blast it with the hairdryer, or I leave it to dry naturally. I don't really curl it or straighten it. I like to do as little as possible heat-wise with it, so I barely need a heat protectant, but when I do blow dry my hair, I just spritz an actual one heat protectant on there. I don't use any kind of styling products in the way of hairspray or mousse, so at the moment I don't have that, and I don't have a replacement for it. Urban Decay Book of Shadows 3. This is still something that I completely am in love with. It was the I Heart NYC one. Amazing colours, something I'll definitely still get use out of for years to come. Not something I'm using a lot at the moment, but yes, I would still say this is a favourite. It's just not necessarily a current favourite. Soap and Glory Smoulder Kohl. This again is something that I can't really tell you I've replaced with one individual thing. It was an eye pencil. I like a lot of black eye pencils. I can't tell you that one of them is absolutely amazing. I haven't used any at the moment that I'm like, wow, you have to get this. It's like revolutionised eyeliner. It's really not. There's loads of them that I like. The one from Rimmel, I was like, Revlon? Rimmel, the Scandalise. I love that whole line of pencils. They're amazing, but I'm not going to tell you any of them are better than the others because I just do not have a favourite. So I'm not going to say I've replaced it with one particular one, but I do still like the Smoulder Kohl. I would still purchase it if I ran out and that was available. Elf Hypershine Gloss in Vixen. Now, oh, this one does have a name. I haven't worn that one for a while. That's kind of like a sheer cherry kind of colour. The one I have here, oh, I've called it cherry because this is called berry cherry. This is nothing like berry cherry. This is a nude for me. I kind of have replaced it with other Hypershine glosses from Elf because I preferred the kind of creamier, opaque glosses than the shimmery sheer ones that I had before. So they were a bit candy coloured, and I actually really like this one. It's called, I think I just said, Berry Cherry. And it's just kind of like, woo, it's kind of like a little bit of a mauvey nude, I think. So I do still really, really like all of the Hypershine glosses. I think they're an amazing formula, really, really good value for money, but I probably would go for a slightly different shade now. Garnier Oil-Free BB Cream, definitely still a favourite. I've actually repurchased this. It's one of the best BB creams for very, very pale skin that I've tried. Very opaque as well, very high coverage for a BB cream. Not for everyone, but I really like that. I like it as an option. But it also has a high content of alcohol, so it could break you out if you are susceptible to that kind of thing. If that breaks you out, then you need to be aware of that. As soon as you open the lid, you'll smell alcohol. And that was a bit of a, I'm not sure about in the first place. I think it did break me out. I had a bit of a purging moment with that. But since then I've really, really enjoyed using it. So yeah, still a favourite, still would recommend it. Definitely something that I'll still repurchase. Fashionista Blush in New York. This is something I used to talk about all the time. I loved this blush. It has been worn to death. I don't know if you can tell, but it has been well loved. I haven't worn it in ages. I just kind of forgot about it. And I would say the thing recently I've replaced it with rather, would be the Revolution Vivid Baked Blushes. This is just an example. I also have Loved Me the Best, which is probably the one I wear most of all. That's not with me, it's upstairs in my bedroom. This one is Bang Bang You're Dead. And they're really gorgeous. Again, really good value for money. Not a totally dissimilar price point to the Fashionista blushes, but yeah, these are just kind of newer ones that I've had to try and I really like as well. But baked blushes, I'm kind of falling back in love with. I went to matte and satin blushes for a while, but I really enjoy the kind of slight sheen that baked blushes give. Lastly, I had Essie Absolutely Sure, and in the video I kind of just went on a rant about Essie. It was around the time that I first discovered Essie. They came into Boots and Superdrug around 2 years ago, and I was just like, Essie, Essie, Essie. I love all of them especially XYZ, and I think I mentioned Mint Candy Apple and Absolutely Sure being the ones that were kind of standouts, and maybe Saint-Tropez. And I would say that China Glaze has basically taken over in my affections when it comes to nail polish. I love Essie still, but China Glaze have these really poppy colours, and there's just something about the bottles, and it's all very aesthetic, but so is all makeup. It's a lot about the packaging, it's a lot about the colours that they release, and they're actually cheaper as well. I can get them for £4.95 or something around that, £4.50, £4.95 from Nail Polish Direct. I'll link everything below that I've mentioned. But this one is too yacht to handle, and this was the one that kind of stood out to me when I looked at my China Glaze collection. I thought this is the one that's really, I love this one. So yeah, I would say China Glaze has basically taken over in my affections, in Essie's place, and probably this one when it comes to Absolutely Sure and Mint Candy Apple. But yes, I'm sorry I was kind of rushing through that, but I have, from the moment I started filming, I have had this little red blinking light telling me that I'm running out of battery, and I was like, I don't want to wait hours to film this video, so I'm kind of shocked it's managed to hold out for 12 minutes for me to film this whole video. But yes, let me know how you feel about this format. I really love the idea. Like I say, I will link the girls who kind of turned me on to this idea so you can watch them as well. Because I just think it's such an interesting concept to look back and be like, I raved about this. This was kind of like a life-changing product. Do I still like it 2 years later? Yes or no? Because sometimes you're like, no, that's terrible now, or you know, so many months later it dried out, or it started doing this, or you know, it's really interesting to kind of look back. So I'm interested to see how it's gonna move forward, because obviously I could have picked any of the months, but I wanted it to make August 2 years ago. It might not have been the best example, because obviously there are other ones that I might have had a better selection of products, etc. But if you enjoy it, then I will do it again. Hopefully you do, because I really want to. But for now, I will say goodbye, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!